The music and the animation really gets you pumped up.
It's
right?
that profile shot of the 4 astronauts.
This is
I'm like, let's
our
go!
world. Let's go. NASA's first crewed mission around the moon in more than 50 years, is set to take off Wednesday, and conditions are currently looking favorable for the launch of Artemis II. You see it right there. This will be the rocket's first flight with a crew on board, as well as the first ever piloted flight of an Orion Deep Space Crew capsule. Joining us this morning from Seattle is retired NASA astronaut Dottie Metcalf-Lindenburger. Dottie, good morning to you. Our viewers should know that you flew to the International Space Station back in April of 2010. You described your memories of liftoff as a blur. I can only imagine the adrenaline and the excitement. So tell us more about that and what these astronauts are likely going through right now.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me here. Yes, the 8.5-minute ride that I had back in April of 2010 was a blur. And even when you train in very good simulators, it's just the energy and everything of the day that I wish I had captured more that evening, maybe like in a little voice recording for myself. But I still remember some distinct parts. Of course, that no one forgets the takeoff piece. And then being on the flight deck, there were the steps that we take for the checklist that are part of the normal pieces. But in the recording that was made of our takeoff, once we've made some very important calls, then you can hear all of us kind of chuckle and giggle because of that energy. It is like nothing I've ever felt before.
Lighting up even as you talk about it.
Yeah.
Dottie, what is it like physically in the chair? I mean, I presume you guys are laying back, right? And then what are the G-forces you're feeling?
Yeah.
Well, we felt 3.5 Gs, but that's very late in, it's like the last minute, so around 7 minutes, 7:30 seconds that we felt the 3.5 Gs. Really, it's the initial part is I sometimes talk about it as being tackled by like the super powerful football team and then shaking, like being on a wooden roller coaster for maybe 2 minutes as we were on those solid rocket boosters. So that's what I remember from this blur. But also just remembering that because it's very crucial to make call outs and be prepared for anything, remembering the things that are actually on our checklist that we go through over and over and over. And so those things we were all doing. And I think that's the beauty of how much we train as a crew and work to prepare for flight day. And as you said, we're really hoping this weather is looking awesome, but we know that there's a lot of things outside of our control. So what we do in the time as we prepare for the flight and are down there in Florida is review some of the first steps that we'll be taking once we get to orbit, but also really savoring the opportunities where we get to see our family, where also I remember watching some movies in quarantine together as a crew. So it's a really special time to bond as a crew and also to keep physically fit. The nice thing about being there in Florida is the weather is usually great. And so I remember doing some runs late at night for our sleep shift that we particularly had. And that was really special too.
It's such a fascinating combination of the scientific, the mission, the professional, but also the personal, the physical,
the patriotic,
the patriotism, the history. There's so much wrapped up in such a short moment. What are some of the biggest questions you have? Because I would also imagine that as soon as you see the Earth pull away and you see the blue crust that we all kind of live and breathe on, there's something spiritual, people say, that happens to you when you look at the Earth in the rearview mirror, so to speak.
Yes, so I definitely remember the first night when I really had time, because like I said, and this crew, when I look at their timeline, they have a very busy first day of flight. But so when I looked at that, I was like very impressed. We also have to circularize our orbit. So about 40 minutes after we reached space, we also had a burn. So the first day is pretty busy. And I just remember looking out the window for the first time back at Earth, like really looking and feeling both humble because we're just one individual that has this incredible opportunity because of all the others that went before us and because of all the people that work on our flight to make it safe and possible. And like you mentioned, the history. And so very humble about that, but very awed because our Earth is incredibly beautiful, incredibly complex, and it's our home.
Yes,
Right?
it
It's our
is,
home.
Dottie.
And so it's this amazing opportunity. It's really amazing.
What a
So
treat
beautiful.
to talk to you, and also to just relish the beauty that is the figurine collection behind you, Dottie.
Yeah, we're
Thank
admiring
you.
that.
Yes, I made this paper mache doll when I was a third grader, and Sally Ride became became the first American woman to fly in space. So as you mentioned, there's the history, there's the impact.
That's beautiful.
We love it.
Dreams come true. Wow, Dottie, thank you so much for your time. I'm
Thank
so
you, Dottie.
inspired.
Thank you so much.
Stay with CBS News for continuing
you.
coverage of the Artemis II mission around the moon. All this week, we'll be bringing you all the action, incredible conversations like the one we just had, from launch to landing.